Good morning, everybody. So we're going to be doing a scrap video here, and for those of you guys that don't know me, my name's Mike. I do a lot of scrap metal removal, house cleanouts, and stuff like that. So in this video, we're going to be headed to the scrapyard. I got my white truck here, my 2014 f250, loaded up the back of the truck and the trailer. I just got to put another strap on the back, so we'll be headed to the scrapyard. So if you guys want to see what I deal with on a daily basis, some of you guys that watch me all the time, you know that it could be a complete dumpster fire. So I'm hoping today is going to be a good day and I'm not going to get jammed up, but we'll see what happens. Alright guys, what's up everyone? We're going to be headed to the scrapyard here. Just doing a light check, and I was like, oh, I should start filming. So, alright, so today we have a giant load of tin. It's been really slow, tin or shred as some of you guys call it. And we've been pretty slow lately. I know it doesn't look like it by the just massive pile on this trailer. So this trailer is 24-foot load trail. Belmont's the little guy. Belmont's this one. But a 24-foot load trail with 4.5-foot sides, and the top of these poles is 5 foot. So you can see we're stacked at least 5-6 foot, and even more towards the back. And we have the back of the truck full. I cleaned a bunch of air conditioners up. Just been slow, so I figured I would take some time and get them all processed and ready to go. Also with a bunch of water heaters. One of my plumbers had a bunch of water heaters. And as you see, the truck's squatting pretty good with the load in the back and the trailer. It's hard to say how much weight is here. If I had to put an estimate or a guess in, I would say easily, I'd say 6,400 pounds. So 6,400 pounds with everything that's on here and here. And you also got to remember this trailer weighs 3,200 pounds. So we're going to be doing a decent hauling, towing. That's why I try to use my 250 more than my heavy duty 150. I mean, this is a good truck. A lot of people love this truck. A lot of people know me as the scrap guy in this yellow truck, even though I started out with the white one first. But this truck's getting like a cult following. Some people have said to me, oh, have you seen that guy in the yellow truck? Like, man, that guy's crazy, man. He's over here scrapping, doing all kinds of stuff. Like, man, like he picks a lot of stuff up. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's me also. People don't realize I have 2 trucks and I run both of them. Like, I'll load this one up and then just go out with this one and pick up some small stuff. So, this truck's cool because it's got the hydraulic lift gate. So, as you get older, you don't want to, have to engage beast mode all the time. But, I mean, it's still nice to have the ability to pick things up. I mean, this just adds a little extra comfort, and, on those days where you can just, flip stuff on it, or you get, things that are too heavy for the average person to pick up. I mean, some people aren't as strong as most, but, I mean, do that as it may, you guys, I mean, not everybody has a lift gate on their truck. A lot of scrappers do, but, I mean, I bought this truck, it had the lift gate on it. It was a package, so we keep it going. So I was checking my lights here. Checked my tires to make sure everything's good. This trailer sits more than anything. It might get dragged out once. Might get dragged out once a week or twice a week, but it sits a lot of times. We're loaded right up to the back. As you guys could see, man, I say we, I mean me. I didn't have my helper all this week just because it had been so slow. Obviously, we got the jet ski racks again from that place I pick up. Appliances right to the tail. Got everything strapped on yesterday. I mean, it was hot. It was muggy. It was just disgusting out. But you can see, that's a giant load of tin, man. Oh, let me clean this light off here. It sits and dirt gets on the light. It makes them harder to see. That's better. But yeah, guys, we're loaded up extremely heavy. We're going to be headed to the scrapyard. We'll get you guys a weight. We'll get you guys, see how much money we make today. let you guys know how much when I scale it on and off, what we're weighing, how much we're towing, all that stuff. So if you guys are interested, stick to the end of the video. Most people only watch my video for the first 5 minutes, so I put that in. So I was going through making sure everything was hooked up correctly. Safety chain, safety pin. I go over this all the time, but I'll check it 3 or 4 times before I leave. I got to start the truck up and let it run too. Just to, you know, you want to start a truck, let it run. You don't want to just get in and go when it's cold. Not towing a heavy load like this. But we went through yesterday and some copper, some electric motors, a couple starters and stuff. I'll be bringing that stuff in by the end of the week. A little bit of brass I'm working on. This is the sealed units. Sealed units are compressors out of air conditioners. That's a cast iron boiler. And all this stuff back here is all my short steel. It doesn't look like a lot because I don't really get it that much this time of year. There's another boiler there. And some rotors there. I got to pick up more rotors this week, so I think I'll do a rotor / short steel run. So if you guys want to see that, you know, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Stick with the video. We'll bring in some short steel. This is all short steel. And this can's starting on short steel. But yeah, man, there's everything on here. Appliances, oil tanks, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to be starting the truck letting it run here. We're a little early. Today was the first day of school. So we're a little early today. I want to be the first one there because I got to unload all this stuff by hand. So start the truck, let it warm up. Ooh, the beast comes alive. But alright guys, we'll see what we get to the scrapyard. We'll see how much weight we pull on the scale. Alright guys, so I'm driving to the scrapyard. I want to tell you guys, got my phone in my little holder here. But I'm going to give you guys a little piece of information or a little piece of knowledge about scrap metal. Alright, prices have been steady for the time being. Usually when the fuel prices go up and gasoline prices go up, scrap metal prices go up. That hasn't been the case, dude, with all the inflation and stuff. And the metal market, even with the inflation the way it is, it's still terrible. And I know some of you guys in different parts of the state tell me all the time that scrap prices at this, oh, my scrap price in my yard is blah, blah, blah. Well, it varies from state to state, and it varies from scrapyard to scrapyard. Smaller scrapyards always have lower prices than the bigger scrapyards. And, you know, we work hard for the metal. I know a lot of you guys, and me personally, I wouldn't bring it to a place that, you know, wasn't paying me top dollar for it. You know, if you haven't, don't just go to a scrapyard that, you know, if you have a scrapyard you go to, but don't just go to a scrapyard because it's convenient. Oh, this is the closest guy to me. Well, that might not be the best answer. Now, you know, just because it's convenient, oh, the yard's 6 miles away, that doesn't mean anything. If the guy's going to pay you $40 a ton for what I have on the trailer, but, you know, if you drive 45 minutes away, yeah, you'll spend more gas, but the guy's going to give you $220 a ton, why would you bring it to that guy? Because it's convenient? That guy ain't doing you no favors. You know, don't do him any favors. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys out here that'll buy scrap metal for nothing if you bring it to them. You know, just don't fixate on, oh, that scrapyard's, you know, a half hour away. Ask other scrap guys, go to other scrap yards, talk to them, and see if they'll give you a better price. Tell them, hey, you know, I bring in 10,000 pounds of shred a week. I always have 500, 800 pounds of copper. Or when I clean my air conditioners and stuff, one time a month I bring in, you know, this much of this much. Talk to them. Maybe they'll give you a better price, even if it's 2 or 3 cents a pound on your copper or your brass or any of that. I mean, you're doing all the work. They're doing the easy part. You know, and anybody can buy scrap metal also. So if you want to open a yard and buy scrap metal, you're more than welcome to. It takes a couple $1 million to have overhead and stuff, which is the boat they're in. They don't want, you know, they want to buy it for the minimum amount possible. You know, so when they sell it high. They'll have money invested. They'll hold on to the product until the price goes up. And a lot of times the guys that they sell to, you could sell to too. Unless it's a mill or something like that where you have to have a corporate account, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other part of the game. But I would call around and find bigger scrap yards and local. Some of the local places are good, and they're good home businesses. They're good small businesses and stuff. But you know, you want to sell to whoever's going to pay you the most. Simple. It's like when gold buying was a big thing. Everybody was buying gold. You bring gold, I'll give you $200 for that bracelet. And then you went to another place and give you $1,000 for the same thing. Why would you sell to this guy? Because he's the local guy who just popped up, you know, overnight, or he's the guy that's buying it right now? You know, I went to 5 or 6 different places when I had a bunch of gold scrap. Everybody gave me the lowest price, and my local guy, oh man, I'm going up this hill. My local guy that had a little shop in a little town, I told him what the other people were giving me, and he looked at me and he tested every piece, which they really didn't. Tested every piece, said, I'll give you this much for that stuff. This stuff's this grade. This stuff's this grade. Kind of like when you go to the scrapyard. I'll pay you this price for that price, that. And I ended up getting almost like $3,200 when everybody else was offering me between $200 and $500. So there are people who will take advantage of you in anything in this world if you let them. You have to, knowledge is power, guys. I know I'm not looking at you guys, I'm driving, but you know, this is the information that it took me years to get. I sold scrap metal to a scrapyard. I was friends with my dad. I've told this story before. And when my dad died, he said, hey man, if you got any scrap metal, I'll give you a good price. So he's giving me 6.5 cents a pound. So that whole spring and summer, I was bringing in like 1,000-pound loads, 1,500 pounds every day for the whole summer. And then a buddy of mine, another scrap guy I used to work with at the garbage company, was there dumping off aluminum. And he said, why are you bringing this stuff here? Go up the road, blah, blah, blah. And I said, why? And he's like, the guy's paying $3.20 a ton. I said, what do you mean $3.20 a ton? Yeah, the guy's just starting out, and you know, he wants all the metal he can get. So I go up there. Sure enough, I drop a load off. I get $3.20 a ton. So I'm talking to him and his wife. Said, hey, you know, I'll bring you all the scrap metal. And it was 15 minutes further than I was going. It was a little bit further into New York than I was going. And, you know, long story short, I said, how long has your prices been this way? He goes, all summer. So that whole summer, I brought stuff to this other guy. He ripped me off so bad. He gave me 6.5 cents a pound when the other guy was giving almost 15 cents a pound. That's almost triple what this guy had gave me. So when I went back to him saying, hey, you know, I don't want to go 15 miles further each way, you know, with the gas prices the way they are. And this was around Hurricane Katrina time, so fuel prices were almost $5 a gallon. And he's like, nope, I can't raise your price. I'm like, but I've been 6.5 cents. How is this guy that price? He's like, you want to bring it to him. So just watch out, because there's a lot of shady people out here that will buy the stuff for next to nothing from you. They'll tell you, oh, that's the price. And then I heard somebody say, oh, I went, you know, 20 miles away and this guy's paying $100 more a ton. Hey, it doesn't happen all the time, but if somebody's telling you your yard's $40 a ton, $50 a ton for shred right now, I would call around. I would call around and I would look for some of the bigger companies, tell them, look, try to strike a deal with them. Hey, I'll bring you this many tons. I do this for a living, you know. I'm not just, you know, a fly-by-night guy. I could bring you in a lot of stuff. And usually they'll work with you. If they're not willing to work with you, then they say, oh, you know, bring us some stuff. And if you bring in, you know, good quality stuff and everything, you know, you got to strike a deal with them. You know, the scrap yards I've dealt with, they always have liked me. And the current yard I go to, you know, I'm a top producer. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what everybody else brings in, but I'll tell you what, there's other guys who put different things, have many different people go underneath their accounts to boast their numbers. See, I don't do that. The only person who dumps on my name is me. I don't have, oh, hey, Joe Blow, you go bring it in, you'll get my price to make it look like I bring in more. And, you know, eventually when everybody starts to start paying taxes from the scrapyard, from everything, you know, and all those other people who dumped scrap on your name, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. So, that was a little bit of a rant, guys, but we'll be headed to the scrapyard here in a minute. I'm kind of early, so I just wanted to give you guys that piece of information, man. I try to give information to people, but it seems like my videos don't get enough traction and everything. So if you guys watch this and, you know, and you stick with it to the end, man, we're going to see what this weighs out to be and everything. And I just hope that I can give you guys some information that, you know, will help you guys in these tough times. All right, guys. All right. We weren't the first ones. There was 2 people ahead of me, but Looks like the yard's not that jammed up today, so it's going to take me a while to unload this by hand. 17.7, so 17,780 pounds. So we have on around 7,000 pounds on the trailer, so should be a decent payday, guys. Yeah. Alright guys, that was, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty terrible. Scrapyard etiquette goes out the window, people pulling in and blocking you and throwing stuff underneath their trailer because the pile, you know, was getting too high. So they're just dumping, and it was going under my trailer. I had to yell at a guy, tell him to pick his shit up out from under my trailer. He just looked at me, he's some freaking meth head with no teeth, and the guy that was with him had like a freaking bump on his forehead, looked like a freaking numbskull. I mean, not the brightest bunch you find in the scrapyard. But all right, let's go get our ticket here. Let me pull out of the way. Let's go get our ticket and see what we get paid today. All right, guys, look at all this sweat. Man, it's the second time I sweated through this shirt today loading stuff up. I want to show you what I just picked up at this barn. That barn right there. I asked the people if I could film. He was kind of hemming and hawing. He didn't really say much, so I didn't even try it. But this is all the stuff he gave me. All old stuff from the barn. Some bicycles, a lot of buckets of old tools and bolts and some heavier stuff in here. But this is my second. I did that first load, and this is my second trip back. I mean, look at some of these old tools and stuff. A little bit of copper, some brass, electric motor. That bucket right there has got copper in it and a bunch of stuff. And then this is the front side. Barrels, pipes. I mean, it was all from his grandfather. So, alright guys. You know, like I say, never a dull moment. And remember, it's not a job, it's a fucking adventure. Come on. Alright. Freaking too hot, man. Third time sweating through my shirt. I had to take a minute to stop. Man, it ain't easy doing scrap metal when it's 90 degrees out and humid. It's not good, man. I want to show you what I loaded up. So I got my copper aluminum fins, dirty as always because it doesn't pay to cut them off. My yard stands pays me 20 cents less for dirty. It's not worth it. Save the Sawzall blades, save your hands. I mean, if it's too much difference at your yard you go to, sorry. I probably should have waited to start this, but this is real life. I got some stainless steel, some number 2 copper. This is sealed units. Another one is sealed units. A little bit of electric motors, and 2 aluminum wheels. So I'll bring this in tomorrow morning, along with the load of tin you guys seen. I'll be honest with you guys, it was rough today, boy. Whew. But I managed to make decent money. I'll show you guys the slip here when I get back to the white truck. I have 2 more stops to make today, but you know what? They're both local from me. They're only 4 or 5 minutes away. I'm not going to do them. I'm going to go sit and relax for the day. I'm done. I'm loaded up for tomorrow morning. I'm not going to push it too hard. You know what? I know that stuff ain't going anywhere, and I know those people ain't going to say anything. And if they do, oh well. There's nothing I can do. I highly doubt that those people work as hard as I do. You know what I mean? And for me to pick it up for nothing, they should be lucky. They should be thankful that I'm going to go do it. Especially on days like today. But alright guys, I want to see what we made. Boom, right there. Pulled on a scale at 17,800. Off the scale, took me about an hour to unload. As you see at 5:59, I went in at 9:05, so almost 50 minutes. We had 74.80, and you see my price. So I made $771 off that load of tin today, which wasn't a bad load today. Let me put my slip back. Wasn't a bad trip, man. It's hot out here though, making me work for it. Whew. It's hard work by yourself, man. But alright, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I don't want anybody ever tell you this job is easy, boy. I tell you what. Everybody says it ain't worth it, but the juice is worth the squeeze. If you're getting the metal and you got the time and you could do it. I mean, a lot of people out here making $800 a day, man. Yeah, I don't do that every day. Sometimes I make more, some days I make less. But you got to take it when it's good, man. Stick with it. You know, you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get fined. You never know what people are going to give you. Man, this is rough. I wish I could show you my whole shirt. Look at that. Dude, as fat as I am, I sweated through it. But alright, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This is a longer video. I'm going to start doing some longer videos. Maybe you guys will watch to the end. If you watch to the end, say you watch to the end. But alright, guys, my question for today is, am I the only one ready for sweatshirt weather? Like, I can't do this no more, man. I mean, it's September 3rd. This shit needs to go the fuck away, man. I'm over it. But I go on vacation in 2 weeks, so I'm just gonna push hard to get all this stuff together, and then I get to sit in the Caribbean. Poor me. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.